Ohio Cannabis School receives an accreditation. The Cleveland School of Cannabis, also known as CSC, located in Independence, Ohio, announced it is the first cannabis school in the U.S. to be recognized through the Middle States Association, CESS, which we've all heard of. No, we have. Well, that stands for the Commissions on Elementary and Secondary Schools, which is an accrediting agency for certain secondary and post-secondary non-degree granting schools located inside or outside the United States. CSC wrote in a press release, accreditation of CSC by Middle States Association marks a significant step forward for the cannabis industry, driven by a broader acceptance of cannabis and its related fields within the formal education system. With over 1,100 graduates, CSC has already made substantial contributions to the workforce and knowledge base of the cannabis industry. Formal recognition could pave the way for further advancements in cannabis research, education, and professional development, bridging the gap between the burgeoning cannabis market and academic legitimacy. Technically, the college received accreditation in December of 2023, but the school only recently published the announcement. More than 130 years, Middle States Association, CESS, has been operating as a voluntary nonprofit association that evaluates and performs accreditation of both public and private schools. Accreditation demonstrates if a school is maintaining a specific level of quality performance through 5 categories: foundations, governance and organization, well-being, resources, and teaching and learning. Interesting that teaching and learning is number 5. The press release explained that this decision was made in part because the federal government is researching and discussing cannabis rescheduling, following a recommendation by the U.S. Department of Health to reschedule cannabis as Schedule III substance. CSC's recognition by the Department of Education could be an early indicator of changing attitudes within the federal government towards cannabis. Also added, rescheduling cannabis would acknowledge its medical benefits and could notably impact the regulatory landscape. It could potentially ease restrictions on research, banking, and taxation within the cannabis industry. CSC's accreditation was awarded in part because it recently moved into a new building with access to a grow lab, a processing lab, a kitchen, a mock dispensary, and a virtual reality lab. CSC's newest additions were developed to upgrade the learning experience for students to enhance student learning through practical hands-on education in cannabis cultivation, processing, cooking, and sales. This approach not only readies students for the cannabis industry's intricacies, also boosts their job prospects by offering a deep dive into the sector. Additionally, CSC utilizes more recent technological innovations, such as VR and gaming engines, to create digital versions of their labs for remote students to utilize. For example, it hosts a 16-week My First Plant virtual course to teach consumers how to grow cannabis at home. Spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Education told the Canton Repository in a statement that while CSC is accredited, the school is, I quote, not approved by the department to participate in Title IV or other programs under the Higher Education Act. Students attending accredited schools are eligible for financial aid, but in this case, it's not clear that CSC would qualify. CSC has been operating since 2017 and has had 1,100 students graduate through its various programs. On February 29th, Cannabis Business Times published an interview with CSC founder Austin Briggs. Hasn't been easy running a cannabis business in Ohio, Briggs said. For things as little as occupancy permits, we had to fight tooth and nail. For a largely conservative state, Ohio citizens have shown wide support for cannabis, both medical and recreational. There seems to be a tremendous amount of resistance from the government in supporting cannabis programs in Ohio. The passing of Issue 2 and our accreditation, I'm hoping this will be a turning point for Ohio policy. CSC President Tyrone Russell also provided a statement regarding how school trains students, connects them with jobs in the industry. He said workforce development and education is the key to socioeconomic mobility. Companies have to hire people from their communities, and that only happens if those community members have access to education. Ohio, you can go to your Ohio Means Job office and get a grant to be a barber, a welder, a truck driver, contractor, even a nail technician, but not to work in cannabis. Other educational institutions have been increasing cannabis education over the past few years. In 2019, the University of Maryland announced one of the first medical cannabis master's degrees program. Since then, many other institutions have introduced some form of education program or degree revolving around cannabis. Last November, University of Mississippi School of Pharmacy announced a new medical degree in medical cannabis and dietary supplements. Earlier this year in January, Roanoke College in Virginia announced its launch of a new cannabis studies program. Commend the faculty for developing a transdisciplinary academic program that fills a significant educational gap. The Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dean of Roanoke College, Kathy Wolf. With this program, Roanoke College continues to lead in science, policy, business, community engagement. So Professor Dorothy Bell Poley helped to establish the new program. She said students are interested in this industry, being the first in the state to approach cannabis from a scholarly perspective, inventive and entrepreneurial. We hope to bring clarity to tough problems by creating a truly multidisciplinary think tank. Finally, Cloverleaf University in Denver, founded in 2009, is the only cannabis university approved and regulated and licensed by the Department of Higher Education's Private Occupational School Board. And they have trained thousands of students worldwide. I'm Todd Denkin with High 9 News. What do you guys think about cannabis education? I think it's great. I think someone, leaving a school looking for a job in their field is promising. I mean, I hire chemists and microbiologists, right? So I definitely want them trained. And, the more training you can get in preparation for your job, I think is great.
It's like all schools. It's all within the educator, the quality of the educator. And if they have good educators, then this will do phenomenal. But if they have terrible teachers, like a lot of schools do across the country, then it's just going to be an utter failure, and people are just going to get gaslighted all day.
Yeah, they need to bring in people from the industry to teach those classes and to guest present and guest speak and talk about all the shit that you go through, right? All the shit I go through, all the shit everybody goes through, because that's the tough part about the industry.
I got to give a huge shout out to Austin and Tyrone, man. I met Tyrone last 2 years ago online when he was first getting going out here. But Austin actually is a good friend of mine that I play football with in college, also from Cleveland. Can't say his name, but he's involved in certain things. But introduced to him back in like 2016, 2017. And he actually flew out here to California to actually attend a few events and actually learn on the ground what was going on. And he was way ahead of the game of everybody else and getting this education out like way back then. Brought all the gems that he picked up here in Cali and brought those back to Ohio. And just happy to see the genesis here. This is really, really dope.
You forgot one part of that though, Rico?
What's that?
He had to partner with Nick Lachey to get this off.
He did, but you know what, Jason?
Yeah.
Down in Ohio.
There we
Swag
go.
like Ohio.
There we go. Exactly.
Big shout out to Nick Lachey. Big shout out to John Boehner. Big shout out to Tenths, because Ace is what everybody else is doing. Ohio is doing it big right now.
Yes. Any thoughts on this, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that the thing most important to me about educating, I come from a family of educators, they need to make it some kind of trickery to get in, like a contest or an essay or some step, because then you weed out the people who just kind of want to do it to the people who really want to learn it. You get that, you get, ask people why do they want to do it, send an essay, come to this event, or some kind of a step. So then the teachers who can, if they make it interesting, this can be the most fun ever. I want to do a cannabis music school, agricultural and music, because most people who actually create music have a garden, absolutely, or plants. Like, it's a weird correlation. Kudos to the school for getting their accreditation, and hopefully everybody runs there to get their, actual.
They're
degree.
actual, yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see. I wish them luck. I want people to be educated.
Yeah.
I don't want stupid people out there. So you know what I mean. And
See, when you're hiring,
maybe we should reach out to them, and maybe I should put together a class of how to identify quality product, so then that way we can work to eradicate boof.
I'll make the day.
Yeah, you should do a guest lecture course, Jason.
Yes.
Smoking how to identify the best and the worst in the world.
Exactly.
And I'll do one about rapper
Adjunct
weed.
professor.
Yes, and
Hey, Jason, you can create
I'm with that.
Joe Biden, lobby to get this all done.
There is no lobby behind Joe Biden. It's just the deep state.
Joe Biden is in the lobby right now.
I bet. Well, I don't know, bro. All your guys' audio is coming in pretty good, so I think they're leaving us alone right now. But man, you guys, man, oh man.
I want to hear this last one from you, Jason.
I got one for you.
I can't wait.
It's a quickie.